5 minutes.
Your awareness may be powerful enough to control your instincts. Your instinct will be to remove your hand from the box.
It's your girl Meesh, and welcome to another episode of the Luv MEESH Podcast.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but no one told me it would take a village of family, friends, and even doctors just for me to have one. I imagined it being like the nursery rhyme I sang in kindergarten. First comes love, then comes marriage, and then comes a baby in a baby carriage. I even imagined what my future child would look like. My reality, though, first came love, check. Then came marriage, check. And then I didn't know what my future held. I didn't know if I would ever have a baby in a baby carriage because I struggled with infertility for 8 years. 1 in 8 couples struggle with infertility. And infertility is defined as trying to conceive for 6 months to a year, depending on age, with no success. But what infertility really is scheduling an appointment to have sex with your spouse at the right time of the month. Infertility is having sex at the right time of the month, but still getting a negative pregnancy test. Infertility is having sex at the right time of the month after month after month, but still getting negative after negative after negative until you lose hope that you'll ever become a parent. Infertility is finally going to the doctor to see what the issue is because infertility can affect either the male or the female. Infertility is medications, appointments, and going to the doctor, sometimes going to Dr. Google to try everything and still getting nothing. Infertility is sometimes emptying out your bank account because after all those appointments, all those medications, all those procedures, they cost money. Infertility is expensive. And then, if everything you try up to this point doesn't work, you can graduate to in vitro fertilization or IVF for the very, very low cost of about $15,000 per cycle. And IVF is when the doctor takes the male sperm and the female egg and joins them together and implants them into the uterus with no guarantee that you'll get pregnant or walk away with a baby. So you see, infertility is not just struggling to conceive. It's struggling to keep it together. When you feel inadequate because your body is unable to do something that it was designed to do. When you get on social media and you see yet another pregnancy announcement and you're wondering, when is it going to be my turn? When you watch everyone have the very thing that you want and you can't control whether or not it happens for you. When you're happy for everybody else and yet sad for yourself. Infertility is an emotional roller coaster. And that's why it is so important to have a village. My village was great. My village consisted of family and friends and even strangers that I met online on support groups. They consoled me. They prayed with me. They talked to me. They supported me financially. They hung out with me when I needed to get out of the house. They left me alone when I needed space. And even though my village was great, my village wasn't perfect. I remember in 2017, year 7 of my journey, we had gotten pregnant again after having several disappointments, and this time was different because we went to the first ultrasound and everything was developing on track. And we went to the second ultrasound and we heard the most beautiful sound, our little baby's heartbeat. And then we went to the third ultrasound, and we were ecstatic because we saw a perfectly formed baby with a head, with arms, with legs, with fingers, with toes. And in fact, in that ultrasound, our little baby was holding up 2 fingers as if to say, "Mom, don't worry, I'm all right." So my husband and I looked at each other and we said, we're finally going to have a baby. And so we allowed ourselves to get our hopes up. And then shortly after, our dreams were shattered because we lost the baby in the so-called safe zone in the second trimester when the chances of miscarriage decrease. And I felt like somebody had ripped my heart from my chest. And I couldn't take it, and I even went to see a professional counselor because I couldn't rationalize how I could do everything so-called right and still not get the result that I was expecting. And I reflected back to that ultrasound picture, and I realized what my little baby was really trying to say is, "Peace. Mom, I can't do this anymore." And I was so crushed because at that moment, I felt like, but I can't do this anymore. And one of the wonderful people in my village said, "Why are you taking yourself through all this just to have a child? Why not just adopt?" And I know they meant well. And I'm not against adoption because I'm adopted myself. But what they didn't understand is I had already decided that I was going to do everything within my power to try to carry a child for myself before I moved on to other options. And besides, I had already consulted with another professional. The professional? My 80-year-old self, of course. I looked at myself and I said, "Shara, if you make it to 80 and you didn't give everything that you had to try to carry the child for yourself, would you regret it?" And my answer was yes. So I decided to give it one more shot, and I'm so glad that I did because after 4 IVF transfers, after an ectopic pregnancy, after laparoscopic surgery, after over 700 needles, after spending over $55,000 just to try to conceive, on September 26th, on September 26, 2018, I delivered my son. And my 80-year-old self said, "Shara, this is wonderful. But this is not enough." And I remembered that I always wanted to write a book, but I never knew what I was going to write about. And after going through this experience, I said, this is it. So in 2018, while I was pregnant with my son, I wrote and published my very first book titled, "I Still Want to Be a Mom," written to women struggling with infertility to help them plan for, prepare for, and pursue motherhood despite their obstacles. And I looked at my 80-year-old self for approval, and she said, "Shara, that is still not enough. What about the village? What about the fact that all these employers don't cover fertility treatments? What type of role are you going to play in that village?" And so earlier this year, I decided to start a foundation called the I Still Want to Be a Mom Foundation, founded to help women struggling with infertility, to help them spiritually, emotionally, and financially, to give them support throughout this journey. Because this affects so many people. If I were to stand up every 8th person in this room, that would represent the number of couples struggling with infertility. If I were then to turn around and stand up every 4th person, that would represent the number of pregnancies that end in loss. So that's 25% of this room is struggling with this. The other 75% represent the village. But what should the village know? Be considerate when asking someone when they're going to have a child. Maybe they've been trying and they don't want to tell you. Maybe they just had a pregnancy loss. And if they just had a loss, don't say, "Well, at least it happened now." There is never a good time to lose a baby. Instead, say, "I am praying for you, and I can't imagine what that feels like." Instead of saying, if you just want to have children, you can take mine, consider the fact that all they want is to have a child of their own, and you have yours. Instead, say, I know that you'll make a great parent someday. Instead of giving unsolicited advice, like if you just relax, it will happen, consider the fact that maybe they need medical intervention to get pregnant and it won't. Instead of assuming that your friend, your family, your coworker, the person around you is waiting too long to have children, consider the fact that maybe they are struggling with infertility or loss. There are so many people suffering in silence, silently waiting and wishing for someone, anyone, to support them throughout this journey. It takes a village to support those struggling with infertility and loss, and you are that village. Thank you.
I was sitting on a room with 8 other women, and I'm trying really hard to smile. On the wall, there are garlands and a big sign that says congratulations. My friend Annie was 8 months pregnant, and when she talked about having a baby shower, I immediately raised my hand to host it, and I went overboard in decorating my home. She finally starts opening gifts, and all the other women sit around her and start giving her tips. What's the best feeding bottle to invest in? Is it Philips or Tommy Tippy? Where she should buy the diapers? Is it Costco or Target? As I hear every idea, I'm simply nodding my head, and I'm trying even harder to smile. The suggestions keep coming, and I sit silently. I don't have anything to offer. I don't have a child. I have 0 suggestions. Everyone else is talking, but I am frozen. And as they keep speaking, I begin to feel like I'm slowly disappearing from the scene. And now, it's physically painful to be there. My heart is aching because everyone is talking about the thing that I desperately want. I wish I could just get up, run to the restroom, and cry out loudly. But instead, I have to sit and try really hard to smile. As soon as I got married, everyone in the family started asking the questions. Indian family, right? When are you going to have kids? What's the delay? And when I got pregnant, I was so excited. But 10 weeks in, I had a miscarriage. I was devastated. We tried again and again, and I had 2 more miscarriages. Heartbroken, we began to pursue fertility treatments, first with medications that didn't work. Next, IUI, intrauterine insemination, where the procedure puts the sperm directly into the uterus. We had 3 attempts, all of which failed. We then tried IVF, in vitro fertilization, which is considered the golden standard for fertility treatments. This is where I take medications to get large quantity of eggs, and the eggs are retrieved, mixed with sperm in the lab, and when embryos are formed, they are put back into the uterus. On the day I was awaiting for results, I was at work and somehow missed the call. With my hands trembling, I called my voicemail, eagerly anticipating a "Congratulations, Pradeepa." But instead, all I heard was, "Pradeepa, I'm very sorry." I dropped my phone and started crying. I immediately picked my bag and ran outside the work, not wanting my colleagues to see me crying, because nobody knew, and I didn't want them to find out. We tried IVF again and again. Every time, it felt like climbing the stairs of the 30th floor building, only to fall down face flat, broken into pieces, and picking the pieces, sticking it back together, and climbing the stairs all over again. 1 turned into 2, to 3, to 4, to 8 cycles. It was exhausting, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. All along, I couldn't talk to anyone about it because nobody knew. Culturally, it's a very taboo subject, and there is so much stigma around it. When I would meet somebody new, and when they would ask me, do you have any kids? I literally wanted to disappear. It was so painful and shameful. And for the whole time, I felt so stuck and so desperate to know what I should be doing next. Online, I was frantically searching for answers. Is it drinking this tea? Is it taking this supplement? Is it eating this type of food? I even found a suggestion to eat fries from a specific McDonald's restaurant. It was madness. There is so much conflicting information. I did not know which one I should listen to. It's like I was trying to see the road ahead of me while wearing Vaseline-smeared glasses, and however hard I tried to clear them, I still could not see. I did not know what to do next. If you are in a position where you're stuck, you know how helpless you feel? It's like someone has the right advice. If you just look hard enough, if you read hard enough, if you Google hard enough, someone will give you the right advice to solve your problems. If you are in a position where you feel so stuck and don't know how to wipe the Vaseline off your glasses, I would like to show you what I did from coming out on the other side and now 10 years as a coach, helping other people get unstuck. 3 simple steps. Step number 1, have an understanding of what your emotions are. Maybe you're in very touch with your emotions. Or maybe you're sitting there and thinking, this is stupid. I'm not a touchy-feely person. I don't have emotions. If that's you, what you're feeling right now is irritation, and that's an emotion. The truth is, in many societies, we are taught not to express negative emotions. We even have this phrase called ugly crying. Crying isn't ugly, it's a beautiful emotion, and everyone has to express it. But we fear that when we express a negative emotion, it might make others feel uncomfortable or make us seem weak. So we pretend and say, it's all good. And that causes us suffering. When I was in the midst of infertility, my friend announced her pregnancy to me. And I was trying really, really hard to smile. Inside, I know there is a lot going on, but I did not know exactly what it was. And that made me feel even worse. So first, I have to learn to understand my emotions. When working with clients who say they are stuck and don't know what to do next, my first step is to always help them understand what they are feeling. So think about something in your life where you feel stuck. And now, look at this chart and see which of these emotions you're feeling right now. Is it happy? Is it sad? Is it angry? Or is it scared? Now you thought about your emotions around the area where you're stuck. Step number 2 is to be honest with yourself about what you're really feeling. So when my friend announced her pregnancy to me, there was a part in me that was so happy for her. And I also felt angry and sad and jealous. And that made me thinking, Pradeepa, you can't think those things. What kind of a monster are you? You're not a good friend. And I was beating myself up for thinking those things. Where I was already feeling terrible, this made me feel even worse. And it made it even harder to understand what I should be doing next. It's like my Vaseline-smeared glasses are now painted in black on top. So be honest with yourself about what you're really feeling and to acknowledge and accept that this is really hard for you. So how do you do that? Maybe After you leave here, you'll tell somebody about it. You write about it. You sing about it. You paint about it. You dance about it. But let's do something right here, right now. I want to invite all of you to close your eyes or lower your head and take a deep breath. And quietly in your head, say this to yourself. This is really hard for me. This is really hard for me. Take a deep breath again and open your eyes. Now you understood your emotions and you acknowledged and accepted that this is really hard for you. Step number 3 is to give yourself permission to feel it. In the moment with my friend, I was unable to do that. Since then, giving myself permission to feel the feelings. Outwardly, I may look exactly the same. It gives me a sense of peace, and most importantly, helps me to understand what I should be doing next. In working with clients and giving them permission to feel their feelings is incredibly powerful and liberating. When they are stuck and don't know what to do next, they often tell me they are in this tiny dark space. By doing this work, they are often able to let go of some of the things they are holding and experience the freedom that will help them to understand what they should be doing next. So let's give yourself the permission to feel it. In few seconds, quietly in your head, you're going to say these 3 things. I feel whatever you're feeling. This is really hard for me, and that's okay. I invite you to close your eyes or lower your head and take a deep breath again. And quietly in your head, say this to yourself. I feel whatever you're feeling. This is really hard for me, and that's okay. You have just given yourself permission. Now open your eyes and sit with that. When I learned how to do these 3 things, it was liberating. Instead of feeling awful and dragged down, my body felt lighter. I was able to be present. And when someone shares the news that I have conflicting feeling towards, I'm able to feel joy for them and other feelings. By acknowledging and accepting and sitting with those other feelings, often I'm able to let them go. And when it comes to seeing the road ahead of me, it's like my Vaseline smeared glasses got cleared by a small wiper. Even if the path is not simple or beautiful, I can see it clearly, and I can choose which way to go. 3 years ago, I was sitting on a plane with my husband from Dallas to Mumbai, and my heart was racing, and there were butterflies in my stomach. I was thinking about our luggage on hold and how, along with our own clothes, we had some chocolates, some new clothes for a 3-year-old, and a yellow toy car. I hope that was the right thing to bring. I just don't know. The next morning, we were sitting on 2 chairs in a small office in the ashram, signing paperwork and talking to the coordinator. And I was not even present. I can't wait for what's coming up next. After 15 long minutes, a young woman appears holding hands with this beautiful little boy. And I was thinking to myself, wow, this is not a picture anymore. This is reality. And the adoption coordinator says to him, Karthik, ये तुम्हारा मम्मी पापा है. Karthik, this is your mom and dad. He looks up straight, walks towards me, and sits on my lap. And the world stands still. I was crying and showering him with kisses, and as I do, my 16 years of longing and pain melts away. I understood that everything that I have gone through in my life brought me there. I did not know what's going to happen next. But for the first time, I did not care. Finally, my Vaseline smeared glasses have cleared.
Okay guys, so as you can tell, this video is going to be how you can unblock your fallopian tubes naturally. So I went for HSG in August of 2014, and I was told by the technician that my fallopian tubes were blocked at the ovaries, which is one of the most severe conditions where you can have a blockage, because it's really hard to unblock it that way. Even if you do the lap surgery, you still have the risk of damaging the fibula. So yeah, that was very traumatic, and that was a very hard thing to hear and accept, especially for someone, you know, in their early or late 20s. Like, even if you're not in your early or late 20s, it's still something very traumatic to hear, period. So from what I'm aware of, there's three kind of blockages. You can have one blockage in the uterus, or you can have a blockage that starts where the tubes begin, or at the ovaries, where my blockage was located. So I was told that I would never be able to have a child naturally, and that my only option would be IVF. So I decided to actually like look online and be proactive in my own care and see what I could find out there. So when I got home and when I was told about the results, I was like devastated. I was like crying for 2 hours. Then I decided to relax. You can do this. You can find a natural way to open up your tubes naturally, and that's exactly what I did. So the first thing I did was I looked on the internet, and there was very little to no information. The only information that was really out there was like therapy like Clear Passage, I think, which is located in Florida, and you would have to go there for a couple of weeks where they would do some kind of homeopathic therapy on you. And then there was another option called the lap surgery, which is where they would use a little incision, and they would open your fallopian tubes that way. Now I decided that I didn't want to do the lap surgery, as I explained earlier, because I didn't want anything to damage my fibula, and also because it's just not something that I felt comfortable with, or something that I really wanted to do. I just really didn't agree with such an invasive procedure, just not for me. For everybody else, that may be something that's okay, but for me, it's just not something that I really wanted to do. So with all that being said, I decided to look up things on YouTube, and there wasn't really that much out there on YouTube, to be honest. And then I came across something online which was talking about an enzyme, and it's an enzyme from the gut of a silkworm, and the enzyme actually breaks down adhesions, and it breaks down scar tissue. So, which is great, because I was told that I had scar tissue, and it actually eats away at fluid as well. Like, some people have like fluid in the tubes, all different kind of, whatever your scenario is, this enzyme is for you. It could definitely help. So without further ado, I decided to go for the enzyme Serpeptus, and I was taking the 120,000 unit. Now it says to only take one a day, but I was actually taking about three or four a day. I was just like, I want to get these tubes open. I don't care how many I have to take, but I started out with taking one a day, and then I gradually started taking 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Sometimes I even did 6. And I was on these enzymes for about 7 months. When I was taking these for about 7 months. So I was taking this, and then I was also taking a Chinese tea. And there's 2. You have to take 2 of these Chinese tea combined, and I honestly don't know where the other bottle is. It's somewhere in my house, but so I was taking these 2 Chinese teas. You're supposed to take them 3 times a day. So at first I only took it 1 time a day because I wanted to, like I said, gradually get myself up there to see if it worked well with my body. And I enjoyed it. I had no complaints. So I was taking this once a day. Then I started taking this 3 times a day. But I do have to advise you that you're not supposed to take this after ovulation. If you're still trying to conceive when you're taking this stuff, do not take it after ovulation because it can cause the uterus to contract, which can cause miscarriage. So just be mindful of that. And it was really hard trying to find any information out there about these teas because there was a study done in China that women was able to take this tea for 10 days and their tubes were open in 10 days within taking the tea. So, you know, just be cautious when you're taking this. I was also taking a tincture called Thankyou. I honestly don't have that on me right now, but I was taking that, and I would take it every day. Once I hit ovulation, I stopped taking it because that can also cause uterus contractions as well, which can cause a miscarriage. I also did not take it on when I was on my period, because that can increase blood flow, so I didn't want to take that. I also found out about another supplement called enzyme, if I'm saying that correctly. This is another enzyme. So I was actually taking these both together. So you're supposed to take these 3 times a day, and I think I started taking about 6 of these. Now I took this within my last month. I was on everything else for about 7 months, but this, I was only on this for about a month. So I was taking this 3 to 6 times a day. You're supposed to take this 3 times a day without any food. You're supposed to take this as well on an empty stomach without any food. Now, majority of women on Baby Center, which is a site that I'm on, you should definitely check it out. This forum is amazing. Majority of women took this by themselves and they were able to get pregnant and open up their tubes with just this alone. I've never heard any cases like that with the LUV enzyme by itself, but like I said, I'm not too sure. I've just never heard of anything where women have successfully opened their tubes with this by itself. But a lot of women have combined this. I also was doing castor oil packs, and what I would do was take a wool flannel and I would soak it and saturate it in castor oil, and then I would put it over my abdominal area. Let me see. So I knew exactly where my blockage was, so I would put it like right over here, like where the ovaries was, where my blockage was, and I would like massage it like on a at least 3 to 4 times a week. So I would place the castor oil on my abdominal region, place a plastic bag over it, place my heating cap over it, and then once I did that, I let it sit for at least 35 to 40 minutes, sometimes an hour. Usually it was, majority of the time it was about an hour. I would let it sit on there. Once I was finished with that, I would massage the area where my ovaries was at. And no, I did not get any specific instructions on how to massage myself properly. I just used my intuition that God had gave me and God led me to. I just followed my intuition and I focused on where I knew my blockage was, and I gave that area a lot of attention. And if you're not that in tune with yourself and you don't have perfect intuition, there are definitely DVDs out there that you could look up, and it would definitely be able to show you how to massage yourself after you do a castor oil treatment. So definitely look into that. So I did that as well. And I think those are about all the remedies that I did. Now, mind you, I was on this stuff for about 7 months. Most of the women on the Baby Center site that I'm on, they were only on this stuff for about at least 3 to 4 weeks, and that was no castor oil, really just the enzyme, this enzyme alone. And they were able to they either got pregnant before going back for another HSG, yay, or they went back and they found out their tubes were open. The only reason why I decided to stick with it for 7 months is because my case was more severe. My blockage was at the ovaries, and that is a more severe blockage. So honestly, I didn't want to rush my body into going back for another HSG, which is very painful and traumatic, to only hear that my tubes are still blocked. Now, majority of the women who went back within 3 to 4 weeks, or some women went back within 4 weeks. I think I'm the longest case that someone's went back within 7 months. But the women that did go back, their tubes are open. Some ladies had both tubes open, some ladies only had one tube open. I wanted both open, so I was like, I'm not gonna rush my body. I'm really just gonna take my time with this, and I'm gonna give myself like all the attention that I need. I'm not gonna rush myself. I'm just not. And that's why it took so long. So I went back for another HSG, and they were like so surprised that I came back. They're like, what are you doing back here? So I told them, like, you know, I've been taking some natural supplements, and I just want to see if it works for me. And when I went back to my fertility specialist and I asked her for another referral to go get another HSG, she kind of looked at me as if I had 5 heads, and she was like, so why do you want another to go back again? And I was like, well, because, you know, I'm trying these natural supplements, and I know that you don't think that it's going to work, but I think it's going to work, so I just really want to go back and see if it works. And which I was really surprised, because I usually don't like say anything, like stand up for myself or whatever. So it was really surprising that I had the energy to be like, I don't care what you think, I'm gonna go back anyway, and just give me the damn referral. So she gave it to me. I went back, and the technician, he was like, so you're back again? I was like, yeah. And he was really nice, and then bam, both my tubes were open. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? I kept asking him a million times, and he was like, yeah, look. And you saw the dye, you saw the spillage come out. And now I will say, on the left side, it was definitely a slower spillage, but on the right side, it was just like whoosh, it just so much came out. But either way, like, I was so happy, and I was so grateful. You know, I was just so grateful, and I was happy because I told God, I said, listen, I want to go back and be a success story to, you know, my fertility specialist and to these people, and to show them that the lab is not the only option. IVF is not the only option. There are natural options out there, and I wanted that satisfaction, you know? I wanted to be able to do that, and not just say, here, you're wrong, but to say, there's ways that you can give other people hope besides telling them, you know, that like IVF is their only option. So, or the lap surgery. So I was really happy about that. So yeah, so to find out that both of those tubes were open it was beautiful. It was amazing. I mean, when I went for my first HSG, it was horribly painful. Horribly painful. And then when I went back for my second one, it was still painful, but it wasn't as horrible. And I don't know if because I put myself in that mindset that I'm, you know, you can do this. I don't know what it was, but I just know it was a better experience than the first time. Sorry, my butt's hurting on this chair. but basically, yeah, that's pretty much everything. I just wanted to come to you guys to let you know that you can open your tubes naturally. And when I was searching, I could not find any information out there. I couldn't find really anything on YouTube, besides people who wanted to charge you $900 for some kind of starter package. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't really find too much on the internet, but I was able to come across some stuff on the internet. And I just want to let you know that it worked. And if it worked for me, I'm pretty sure that it could work for anybody. So just wanted to come and let you guys know the good news. Oh, so I went to go see a naturopath, and she gave me some of this kind of stuff. It's like like her special concoction. I honestly didn't take it, only because I felt like within my intuition that I felt that everything that I was doing was helping. And no offense, but I didn't think she really knew what she was doing. So I decided to just stick with my own stuff. And I took this tea about once or twice. It has a lot of good stuff in here. So if there's anyone who cannot afford to go to a naturopath and you want to be able to heal yourself naturally, you're interested in trying this, let me know. I can send this stuff to you guys, your P.O. box, whatever, if you want to give this a try. I also did take zinc. I know that zinc did help me. I did feel a lot of activity in the abdominal area with the zinc. If you take any of this stuff, you will feel activity in the abdominal area like right away. So that's it. I just wanted to come and tell you guys my good news. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. And I will put a link below of.
Hey loves, and welcome to another episode of Luv MEESH Podcast. So in part 2 of today's episode, as I mentioned before, you're going to hear some success stories because it's not the end of the world. Women have had success and you will too. So we're going to hear those in just a minute. For now, I wanted to go over, remember I was telling you I've been getting these emails, and I probably have been getting them, but just probably not paying attention. I've been getting so much that it's been brought to my attention. For example, let me just go over the ones I would recommend. So I signed up for babycenter.com, and when I signed up, it had an option of trying to get pregnant. So since I, can't put in a baby's birthday or anything like that, I just selected trying to get pregnant. And there's forms on infertility and, just everything outside of already being pregnant. So I do recommend Baby Center. And it's so funny, like, God is like sending me this stuff like, sis, you is about to be up next. I'm going to need you to get on these websites and you say you want this, now make sure you're going to be ready for it. So Baby Center is the first one I recommend. And then Anna is amazing. I want to recommend Anna. The name of her company is To Make a Mommy. Let me see if I can find a good one from her. Let me see. Anna. Anna's just amazing. Here we go. The best free fertility resources to make a mommy. Hi, Luv MEESH. I hope you've been enjoying my emails. I wanted to make sure you knew all about the free ebooks I had put together and some of my favorite ebooks and resources from others. She said, mine's are 79 diet and lifestyle changes I made to get happy, healthy, and pregnant. Fertility Saints Calendar, your perfect fertility diet. How we keep baby making hot, discounts and coupons for fertility safe products. Others would be how to improve egg health, how to improve sperm health, preventing miscarriages, restore fertility and get pregnant naturally, checklist for IVF support, video on how to improve the chances of pregnancy successfully with low AMH or high FSH, free discovery call and coach Sarah Clark. Free discovery call with Coach Sarah Clark. Have a wonderful day. Love, trust, and baby dust, Anna. Blogger-in-chief to Make a Mommy. Check out my frequently asked questions. Connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Join my private Facebook group, Clean Eating and Green Living for Fertility. To Make a Mommy private group. And Non-Toxic Beauty with Anna Rapp. The last one is mostly for U.S. and Canada. I also have a group to make a family for pregnant women and mothers after infertility and miscarriage. So, again, she was on the infertility side. She has a family now. So, she's continuing to help people on this side. But she also made a new group to make a family for women on the other side. So, I honestly think everybody has been given an elephant in their life. It could be the loss of a mom, being raised without your dad, molestation. I mean, the list goes on, you name it. We all have something that probably almost killed us. But it wasn't put there to kill us. It was put there so that we could overcome it. It was put there so that we could build our strength muscle. It was put there so we could start to research. It was put there so that we could learn patience and consistency. It's so easy to say it, trust me, because I'm finna get therapy for this shit. But it's really like easy. I just don't know why it's hard. It's so easy. Like I can look at someone else and be like, you think you, let me stop saying that because you think you can. Oh, you was raised without your dad. That's nothing. You'll be okay. But no, that's a whole thing too. Somebody probably need therapy for that shit too. It's probably forced them to make choices that they're making right now. Or, oh, you had a child young, you was a statistics, that's nothing. No, that person probably almost died. You know what I mean? Like, again, whatever it is in your life, it was given to you to overcome, to build your courage, strength muscle. But before you get that muscle, that shit almost will take you out, okay? Shit will almost take you out. But what you'll end up doing is overcoming and sharing with other people how you overcame. And sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, before you even overcome, you can still share tools and help other people. I'm a strong believer in that. I really am. Because let me tell you why. I give ideas all the time. Sean LaDon, she was this girl who used to sing in her car about God all the time. I put her on Mariah Carey page. Look at them, got a whole video. Now, I don't know if Mariah Carey scouted her out, but all I know is after I put a post on her damn comments page saying, check her out, she reminds me of you, all of a sudden they got a video together. And that has happened so many times in my life. You can ask my sister. Like, I literally be having conversations with either celebrities or their, social media person. And out of all the people, they end up commenting on me. It's just so odd. And I just be sharing ideas. Like, my cousin has a business. I just be giving her ideas. Just because I have the ideas, I know that God made me creative. I have a million ideas all the time. That doesn't mean they're for me. I can share them for someone else. And actually, in the business world, you could pitch businesses. You don't even have to have a whole business to sell it. You could pitch business ideas. Check that out. So that's the fuck I probably should have been doing this whole time. But I just be having like random ideas. And I don't do nothing with them, but I end up sharing. And the other person just be running with it. Like, I don't know. I'm a sharer. I keep saying that. It just comes naturally. I don't be looking for a check. I don't know. I'll be telling people, hey, you need to write that book. Drop that book. Write that book. I don't know. I be seeing it and I just share. I just plant the seed. They water it and it grow. And look, you done made millions off of your book and I ain't dropped mine yet. So again, just because I tell you something that I didn't do, that doesn't mean it's not valuable information. I'm over here trying to get my mind together. The book is probably the last thing on my mind. You probably don't have those Oscars in your life and your plate is clear for you to go ahead and do the book. So don't judge someone just because they're telling you valuable, important information and they haven't done it. Like, yes, we love to see that example and follow it. But sometimes just listen. Listen and run with it yourself. Don't worry about what that person did with it. You just take the good advice and do something else with it. Another example I could give is soil. We all have different soil. You could put a seed in every gardener's hand and for them to put it in their soil. But depending on how that soil was cultivated, that seed may or may not grow. If I got dry clay soil, ain't nothing finna bust through that. Unless it's a cactus. But if I have soil that's wet, it's going to grow. If I have soil that I put extra vitamins in, it's really going to grow. And I'm going to do a podcast with my mom and dad. I'm so excited for you guys to meet Mama Meesh and Papa Meesh. It's going to be so amazing. I just feel like I reached a new page in my life where I just kind of see them differently. Like, for so long, I just saw them in different eyes. And I guess life experience and I don't know, shit. And just have you look at stuff differently, which means I'm growing. So that's amazing. So I can't wait for you guys to hear that podcast. But my mom, I mentioned that because she talks to her plants. She buys them special lights with different colors. She plays the music. She puts vitamins in their soil. She buys soil and mix it with magnesium, phosphorus, and she researches. She buys books. She's so organized. Her stuff is going to grow. Now, me, on the other hand, I got a pot. I got some dirt from Family Dollar. I put in there. It grows surprisingly. But her stuff is really taking off. I might forget to water it. I had them way on the other side. I don't put them over here with her so she could sprinkle some water on them when I forget. It be cold out there. She go and cover them up. So, again, information is just information. What's going to happen with that information depends on the user, okay? So, again, a bum can teach you how to be a millionaire. Now, just because he didn't take that advice and do something with it, you might have hit the lotto. You get what I'm saying? So, let me see. So, that was her. Anna's amazing. Please check her out to makeamommy.com. Fertility Out Loud. I just signed up with this one. This is what I mean. This just came to me. I'm like, oh my God, God is really like connecting me with my people. So on this email, it says Fertility Out Loud. Let's get loud. Fertility Out Loud. Hey, Meesh. Going through fertility challenges can sometimes feel really isolating. You may feel like no one understands and even blame yourself for the struggles. But the truth is, you're not alone. Infertility is very common among women and couples, and it's so important that we start to talk about it. That's why Fertility Out Loud is here to help destigmatize infertility and help women and couples find their voice. We believe that by living out loud, whether that's sharing your own story with the world or just reminding others that they can do this, we can break down the stigma, reach others struggling, and empower them to take action. We asked our Out Loud insiders how living out loud has helped them, and here's what they've said. For me, so this is one person. For me, talking about my journey is therapeutic. I am a firm believer in not feeling alone in whatever situation you're faced with. Fertility treatment was no different. Another person said to give hope and lend my voice to someone who is struggling with infertility so they feel less alone and more empowered to advocate for themselves. Another person said sharing my story gave me a community that I desperately needed. These days, I continue sharing and discussing to both encourage open dialogue and infertility and push those within this community to be more inclusive. Another person said, I had no idea how many women I would connect with on similar paths and how much I needed to speak my truth to heal. I think that's me too. I kept it inside of me. I didn't really talk to anybody. I didn't feel like anybody could relate. Everybody around me has babies. It's like even if they had a miscarriage, okay, but you turned around and had a whole baby. And that's not, discounting their loss at all. Like, I definitely relate with you on the loss. But do you relate with me on having a loss and not having a rainbow baby? Like, that's kind of where I was stuck at. And I didn't really talk about it because I didn't want to talk to people that didn't understand. So now I have a tribe of people that I can freely talk with. Because, let's imagine someone lost their parent and you be like, I know how you feel. I'm so sorry. No, until you lose, you will never. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That might be something that my therapist had to help me with too. Because if someone's offering you help, you should take it and not say, I kind of be like, you don't know what I'm going through. And I don't want to listen to what they have to say. It's so bad. But just even speaking like on this podcast, she said I needed to speak my truth to heal. I think me not talking about it or researching it or, just kind of ignoring it like it was just going to go away on its own was a bigger problem than actually saying, okay, we may have a problem here. We may need to get these herbs and teas that these people are talking about. You are getting older, and when you meet someone, you don't want to just start the healing process. You want to have already been putting in the work. Like, your partner can't help you with this. This is something that you have to do on your own, and your partner will be there to support you. So I don't know if it's age or what, but again, I said I was growing. So I think this just kind of like smacked me in the face, and it was like, okay, girl, we really need to look into this and figure some shit out and stop ignoring it, I guess. So with her saying I need to speak my truth to heal, that was like a trigger for me. Another person said, I started speaking out because I didn't want anyone else to feel like this again. Even our families thought we shouldn't be talking about it, but we didn't want anyone to feel as alone as we did. I'm so happy I found this community. Like, y'all don't even understand. It's like, you kind of feel like, am I the only woman in the world that has not had a child? It's a very lonely feeling. Okay, so that was fertilityoutloud.com. Check them out. Another one is Rescripted. Rescripted.com. Rescripted.com. I just signed up with them. And I think they used to be called something else. I think this company partnered with someone else. But in January, she just started a counseling group. Like, it's a real counselor in here. And I missed the deadline. Like, they started this week. Like, tomorrow would be their first day for therapy, but I missed the sign up. And it will be every week. I think she said for 10 weeks. And I'm so mad that I missed it. And it wasn't going to be free. It was something you had to pay for. But I would have been in a group of women. But I logged on today and it was saying there's a virtual support group on January 20th at 8 p.m. Join us for our bi-weekly virtual support group, a safe place to meet, connect with others who get it. This meeting will be hosted directly on this platform, so no Zoom link is needed. Simply just click join the video to hop on. 112 people have already signed up. I RSVP, I can't wait. I get off at 4:15, so I'll be ready. And I don't know, I'm just like so super excited to like find my tribe. And you'll always hear me say that, like, I'm on a spiritual journey. I got my 2 sisters and my best friend. Now I got Telegram, a whole new world of people who get it. I don't want to take the shot. No one else around me understands that except for my 2 sisters and my best friend. I get on Telegram. It's a group. Fuck no to the shot. So like group I see is important for me. I probably need to look into that too. What does that mean? Group is important to me. My poor therapist. I wonder how much she's going to charge me an hour. Okay, so that was that. Let's see. So we got rescripted.com, fertilityoutloud.com, babycenter.com, to make a mommy.com, and let me just click one more. The Fertility Tribe. That's what it was. So the Fertility Tribe turned into Rescripted. She said the Fertility Tribe is joining Rescripted, a new company called Rescripted combined. Okay, so that's what it was. So I don't think you'll be able to find the fertilitytribe.com anymore because they have connected with Rescripted. And let's see. Finding Fertility was another one in my inbox, but I wasn't paying attention. The last email I had for them was, and they used to email me every day, 5/18, 5/20, 5/21. The last one was 5/21/2021. I emailed her like, are you gone? Is everything okay? But she has a podcast called Finding Fertility Podcast. So maybe instead of the blog, she switched over more to podcasts. So yeah, check that out, findingfertility.com. And I want to say that is it for the emails, honey. Pregnant-ish, one more. So Pregnant-ish is another, pregnant-ish.com. She said, thank you for joining our community here at Pregnant-ish. We're happy to have you, whether you're just starting the process of trying to conceive or have been at this for a while. You'll find information and support here on our newsletter. I hope it's helpful. Fertility treatment and fertility touches every aspect of our lives, the emotional, financial, relational, spiritual, and even practical parts. By subscribing to the Pregnant-ish newsletter, you'll receive access to exclusive interviews with fertility experts, links to our most popular articles and videos, as well as regular doses of downloadable motivational content to help you on your journey. This process is too important to go through it alone. I'm glad you're here. Love, Alexandra. So yeah, I just signed up with Pregnant. I did her YouTube and then I saw that she had email. So again, God has been sending me these blogs, these YouTubes and stuff. I'm like, okay, Lord, baby must be right around the corner. Let mommy get in tip-top shape, which is my mind, my body, and my soul, me. And then, learning about, okay, how do you breastfeed? I want to have a water birth. There's people that I need to be looking for here in Florida. I even saw that you can have your baby in the water, in the ocean with dolphins. Like, depending on how my finances are, that would be like I gave birth to a fucking mermaid. You get what I'm saying? In the ocean. Like, oh, that is just so beautiful to me. And they say back in the days, women would give birth in the ocean and the dolphins would assist them. Looking up recipes for hemp milk because I'm not feeding my baby that toxic ass powder. And this is another thing too. When I have my baby and I'm going to be part of the Mommy's Club, I'm still going to feel alone because who else is giving their baby hemp milk? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I just realized I'm always going to be like that. Like, okay, are y'all feeding y'all kids meat? Like, I'm just always going to be different and unique just because that's just how I am. And I'm always going to be wanting to find that tribe that I can relate to. even with dating, like I see, I'm going to be like, okay, are you conscious? Do you eat meat? Do you meditate? Like, so I'm even going to be like, where's the group of that kind of thing? My mom, she even said one thing. She's like, you might have to date outside your race, or maybe he's not in Florida. And I'm open to that. Like, growing up, white guys always used to have the biggest crush on me, even now. And I never even gave it a thought. Like, I remember in middle school, this guy used to always write my name. Jamisha in wood class, he wrote my name. He would just always do this nice stuff for me. Anthony Sullivan, I will never forget. But I just never even looked at him like that. Like, never. Not a heart flutter, like nothing. But I was saying to myself, like, a lot of guys have just been so nice to me in the past, and I've just been so mean and overlooked them. And I think a lot of the stuff I went through is karma. Like, you had a good one, you didn't want the good one, all right, let me send the hellions your way. So, I'm sorry, good guys. I was on my bad girl phase, but I'm over that shit. I just remember, like, he literally used his wood in wood chop class to write my name. I don't think race was a big thing for us, but I don't know. I was just like, oh, thank you. But then for the longest, too, I remember just being cool with guys. Like, and I don't know if they thought I was flirting or fell in love with them or wanted to take it further, but that's just how I genuinely am. And I find myself having problems with that now. Like, I laugh. I'm going to laugh. A girl, a boy, a gay person, a gay girl, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just going to laugh. I'm a Libra. Our energy is just like that. And that doesn't mean I want to marry you or take you to bed. Relax, like Ari say. But, yeah. I wonder what... And I tried to look him up on Facebook when I was on there, and his name did not come up. Anthony Sullivan. He probably married with a whole family by now. I'm sorry, Anthony. You're a really, really sweet guy at a young age. And you know what's so crazy? My dad was like that to my mom. And she almost missed her blessing. Because he was like, if she didn't change, he was going to move on. And my brother said the same thing. He was going after my sister-in-law. 2 times she turned him down. He was like, all right, if she turned me down 3rd time, I'm moving on. And he even said out his own mouth, if she had turned him down, he was going to be a bad boy. So she really saved him. And I think a lot of guys are like that just because they were hurt. They really fell in love with somebody and somebody really crushed them. And now they just breaking hearts. So I hope I didn't break any hearts. I didn't mean to intentionally. I think, too, you really have to, like, grow up and know who you are and what you want. Because you're just going to break hearts for outgrowing people. Like, you don't even really mean to break a heart, but you just kind of outgrow people. But yeah, so that was scripted. Let me see if I have any more. Let me scroll down. Anna, baby center, Anna. Okay, I think that's about it. Oh, and I wanted to recommend Udemy.com. It's an online school where people with expertise, even degrees, they offer their knowledge to you in video format and audio format and book format. Some of them give you a certificate at the end. Like, knowledge is really out here. Like I was telling my mom, my people perish for lack of knowledge. You could get free knowledge or you could pay for knowledge. The point is, get it. And they have a lot of fertility classes on there for like $9.99, $10.99, $19.99, $20. I saw all the way up to $80, and I put a lot of them in my wish list. And I'm just gonna go over the lists and just build my knowledge base up as far as infertility too, to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Is there any iron that I'm missing? Like, we'd be so quick to go to a doctor, and they be on the computer too, looking up shit. Like, we could have done that on our own, unless it's surgery. They be researching just like us. Somebody don't use WebMD. Your ass be using WebMD, because when you go to the ER and they print that shit out, that's a WebMD fucking printout, so to speak. But anyway, so yeah, check Udemy out. They have a lot of fertility courses on there as well. Let me see. I think I wanted to share something. Oh, if you click on my link tree, I have my Mommy and Me link for my YouTube playlist, because I haven't really started posting anything on there yet. So I just want to kind of go over my playlist because it's so good. Okay, so I have infertility tips, meds, and advice, over 140 videos. Fertility prayer, 50 videos. Fertility meditation, 37 videos. Natural birth, 11. Baby prep, 26. Pregnancy affirmations, 4. Manifest the baby, 19. Arts and craft, 19. Hemp milk, 19. Dear baby, 1. Fertility crystals, 12. Angel baby, 7. Godparent proposal, 21. Fertility Goddess, 30. Fertility Coach, 7. Fertility God, 2. Mommy and Me Yoga, 9. Vegan Baby Food, 29. No Baby Vaccine, 1. You see how they took that shit? I'm going to find some more. It's a lady. See, I might have to ask my sister if I could use her Instagram. It's a lady that was selling hospital packages on what to tell the doctors when you have your baby. And although I'm not going to the hospital, I want to get that medical information, because my baby isn't getting vaxxed. My babies aren't getting vaxxed. I'm keeping their umbilical cord on them until it falls off naturally. I'm going to wrap it in herbs and stuff in a little pouch. I'm going to bury it under a tree in my mom's yard so that tree can protect my baby physically and spiritually, because trees are in both realms. Bet you didn't know that. You can even put your hair or anything, your nails, under a tree, and it'll protect you physically and spiritually. And that's getting on the witch side. But I don't let names scare me, because you are a soul at the end of the day. You need to learn spiritual stuff. Don't let witches have all the fun and they're collecting all this money and causing, mayhem and mischief and with witchcraft and stuff. And you over there not knowing any of this. I need you to build up your spiritual bank too, so that you can either protect yourself from the people doing harm, or even tap into this magic yourself. But again, no one wants to talk about that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to do that for me too. I'm going to get some of my hair, my fingernails, and put it under Mama Tree in the back so she could protect me. And then I'm going to do the same for my babies, because my parents are keeping the house and the family. Okay, let me see. Fertility Goddess, Fertility Coach, Fertility God, Mommy and Me Yoga, Vegan Baby Food, No Baby Vaccine, Water Birth, Birth Plan, Doula, Midwife. So I have a whole YouTube on this. And if you share it with somebody, they can click on them links and kind of learn. I actually have a book to go with this. And when I start my YouTube videos, I'm going to show how to do the book. Like, I'm going to go to Michael's, show you what book I got, show you the glue and glitter and stuff that I use, how to do it, and different baby projects that I have. When you go to Michael's, they have these easels that are clear, or that are white, and you can paint on them. And I just got a very small size. I painted one pink. I painted one blue. I went to the arts and crafts section. I got some glittery blue glitter. I painted that on top. And then I got some scrapbook, baby girl, baby boy stuff, and I put it on there. And it's like the process of getting a baby is really not just sex. It's a whole lot that goes into it. You have to, mind, body, soul, you have to think about it in your mind and manifest it. You have to keep your aura and your frequency right. You have to do what you need to do for your body, so that it can do its things. It's just so many different steps. Just like with anything, just like manifesting anything, there's steps to take. And I think I just be wanting to rush over steps and just make it happen. I think what life is trying to teach me is, no, there's steps to everything. And no matter how bad you want it, you're not going to get at the front of the line. You're going to do the work just like everyone else. And I'm being a brat. Like, why? So I feel like that's what universe is trying to teach me. And it held on to something that I really, really wanted to force me to get this lesson. That's really what it is. Because I didn't just get a master's degree. No, I had to do 12 fucking years of high school, 2 years with the AA, 2 years with the BA, and an additional 3 years, because I kept failing accounting, for the fucking MA, MBA, or MLA, executive leadership. which is under the MBA, but it took out the accounting class and switched it with a leadership class. So the only class that I'm missing from an MBA to leadership is that one class. But I did the time. I did the work, all the quizzes, all the discussion boards. I paid the tuition. I did what I needed to do, and boom, I got the degrees. I think that's why it's so hard for me too, because I know that I can go after anything that I want if I really, 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 really study and put my mind to it, just like my real estate. I thought studying that book would help me, but no, I needed something that would repetitively give me them questions so that it could program it in my mind. Because I swear when I took that test, I answered within 5 minutes. And I think the man like timed me out because he was like, she finished way too fast. Probably thought I cheated. I took it again and took test B and did bad, and took it again and took test A again and passed, and they finally gave me a certificate. Like, don't play with me. Them questions was exactly the same. But it should not have taken 6 years. Like, if I would have known about that program and did it, I would have passed. So I guess this is like a repeating lesson if I really think about it. Like, okay, you got your master's degree. What did you do to get that? Check. Okay, you got your real estate degree. What did you do to get that? Okay, check. Okay, so you want to beat this. You know what to do. Let's do it. Give it some time and you'll get a check. And I think something else is going to come after this. And life is just going to keep giving me this same lesson harder and harder and harder. And I really just feel like we have the same lessons over and over again. And they're probably patience, empathy. It's probably simple stuff like that in the form of like human obstacles. Like, are we really in a simulation being programmed? So yeah, check out my YouTube. It's amazing. You're going to love it. There's a lot of things to learn on there. Now I want you to hear, this is not a defeat story. I promise you, I get in my head. There's other stuff I need to deal with, and I'm impatient. And no matter how much I scream and pout, like, the baby is not just going to magically appear. And realistically, I want to have a home. I want to be married. I want to have a husband, and then the baby can come. So I haven't completed any of those steps. I'm still on me, mind, body, soul, getting therapy, taking the pills and stuff that I need to take, meditating. And I get angry so fast. I know that's not, you could lose your baby in the first trimester if I don't get that under control. So I haven't even done the me work, but I want the baby. You get what I'm saying? It's like God is saying, girl, when this baby come and it be screaming, I'm going to need you to get this meditation down, because you're going to need to be like, why that baby screaming? Or you don't want to be a baby mom. So do what you need to do to work on you until I send your husband. You don't want to rush out there and be a baby mom. Like, that's the last. We talk, I am God. We talk all the time. You don't want to be a baby mom. So we have to wait for husband. You know what I mean? You want your kids to have a mom and dad like you. You want them to be raised in a family like you were. So, yeah. I don't know why it's just even on my mind so much. It's like, I know I haven't done the work. I know I'm not in a relationship, even close to being in a relationship, engaged or married, to even be, ready to start doing a baby dance. So I don't really know, like, again, that's what therapy is going to come in. Like, why is this giving me so much anxiety? And I could understand if I was married and I just had baby dance and we've been trying for a couple months and it's like, babe, what's going on? I have those emotions right now, and I don't know why. Like, sometimes I be feeling like I'm in the future. I have future emotions and feelings now, and it's not adding up. Like, what I see is not what I'm feeling. Like, it's so weird. Does anybody get that? Does anybody get that? Like, even like with 5G, like, it's literally fucking us up. And I'm screaming like, we have to protect ourselves from 5G. And that might be 10 years from now. But right now, everybody is like, fuck 5G, because they don't really care about it. So it's like I'm in two places, 2 time zones at once sometimes. And it's so, is that even a thing? I need to look that up. Because that could fuck with my mind and emotions if I'm in 2 places at once. Like, wow. Okay. So now, because we know that we can overcome, whether that's herbs and teas and pills, whether that's castor oil and massages, whether that's in vitro, whether that's adoption, whether that's a surrogate, whatever infertility looks like for you, rainbow baby, you know, you can overcome. We will overcome. It's just not time. So I have 2 videos of women that have overcome and the remedies that they have used to overcome. So they were inspiring to me, gave me, you know, my flame was out, y'all. So they relit my flame. You know, I'm back in the game. And I'm very thankful for women who share. Like, you don't want to share this with nobody. Not your parents, not your siblings, not your significant other, like nobody. You just harbor it and you just keep it to yourself very, very deep. So for them to go on TED Talks and share it with the whole world, it's like, oh my God, thank you for doing that, because they're helping me and millions of women like me. And I think that was one part of my journey too, like really confronting it. And I guess that's with everybody. Whatever you're dealing with, you're going to have to confront it at some point, bring it to the surface, and, you know, heal, you know, start to heal it. And that's different for everybody. It could be alcohol, you know, it could be bad relationships, you know, X, Y, A through Z, right? So yeah, life has been interesting. We all have a different journey, and this is a little bit of mine. So I will come back after this episode, and then we'll take it from there.
Thanks a million for listening. There's a million podcasts in the world. You clicked on this one, this one, to hear what I have to say. I hope universe has a special message for you. You can reach me on Linktree at /love.meesh. I hope you have a better than great day. Love ya. Talk to you later. Mwah. Bye.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?